Good morning, folks. Praying all is well. God bless. And no, I'm not in a schoolroom, in a daycare center. I'm just in another room in the house. I had a conversation the other day with my daughter, and I got to thinking about that conversation. I was just, she seemed to be asking for some advice, and it was a good conversation. Not surprising, because her and we always do have good conversation. But I just want to speak on, because I always try to speak on things that I've experienced, things I've done in life. And when it comes to having conversations with people, um, getting into debates with people, I have always been one that has been known to be quick with words. I just have that gift. Uh, wrote poetry. I used to be able to rap off the top of my head, just those types of things. Early on in life, I adopted this mindset when it came to debating people. And when I mean early in life, probably 21. Now, before that, I was always the type of person that you could tell that when I got into discussions that were serious, even as a youngster, to me it was a wordplay thing. I knew that as a youngster. I mean, in my teens, in my early teens. So one of the techniques that I adopted was when in a debate or confronted other known as or also known as an argument. There's a difference. An argument, you just yell and scream back and forth. A debate, you're supposed to let one person speak, then you speak back and forth. I used to always wanted to debate people, all right? And I will always let the person go first. It didn't matter who it was, and that was the problem. I would always let them go first, and sometimes even ask, are you finished? Because when I was going to go at the person, the way I used to describe it was, I wasn't playing any games. I was going to tell you the most lowest thing I could think about, you, and go from there. I would not curse and not raise my voice. My thing was this: the first one to curse in the debate or the first one to raise their voice or show any type of emotion that's anger, I think, to me, they lost the debate already. Just the other day, my sister and I were in a car. My mom was in the back seat, and we got into a spat. And my sister says to my mom, don't let him fool you. Even though he's talking with that low voice and he's not cursing and he's smiling, he will bury you with the words that he says. Right? That's what I adopted as in my, like I said, 21, 22. Where did I go wrong? I did it to everybody. That technique became a part of who I was. And I treated everybody like that, my family members included, my wife. Total disaster. Total disaster. And I would say some of the meanest things. Like I said, with a smile on my face. And there was times that they said things that, but I would just stand there like, okay, and this goes to another part of life. Once a person has accepted to themselves all the wrongs that they have done, or they've tried, there's a lot of wrongs here, so maybe I forgot some, but they've accepted what they've done, the wrongs that they have done. They've apologized, right? They let it be known, hey, this is what I did. It's not hidden, the things that I did, right? Everybody knows Raul was in that life of, getting high and going to jail and all. Yeah. So when somebody brings it up, I'm like, when they say it, I'm like, man, tell me something we don't know. Because I was like, I've already accepted that. I've admitted to that. You're not saying nothing new to me. What's a bad thing to do? Yeah, it was bad. So I do agree with, if you're getting into a debate, just don't do it to your family members. That's all. And try not to be mean. It's crazy. Yeah. And her conversation was tilted more toward when somebody asks for advice and the dynamics behind that, and there's somebody else involved that so now you're caught in the middle of this conflict. I explained to her, whatever advice you give to people, you try to leave your opinion out of it. You try to always come across as, well, maybe this or maybe that. Don't try to, try not to come off as, well, this is how I feel about the matter. Because then if it really goes sideways, it looks like you've chosen a side. And what I told them most importantly was, what you have to do is get out of the middle of that. Give the ball back to whoever passed you, right? And give the ball back and leave it on their court. And walk away. Yeah, that was my advice to her. But again, don't give your own personal opinion. Stay out of that. Just give advice, but don't give your own personal opinion. Yeah, I know it's a little bit more difficult than it sounds, but it could be done. Again, those are things that people are going to go through in life. You've heard it, or now you've been caught in the middle where it is like, hey, I've been trying to get in contact with so-and-so. And you've made contact with so-and-so. And you're like, yeah. Hey, can you tell her? And you're like, okay, fine. And you do. And the other person doesn't care for what the other person said. And now you're stuck in the middle. Like, that's how quick it happens. You're like, hey, so-and-so said that he's trying to get in contact with you. And now this person gives you this news. And you're like, I really don't want to say that to that person. Because I don't want that person to get that news from me. And I don't want that person to know that I know that other person feels like that about them. And I told her, I get it. I said, that's a hard one. I said, what you do is you tell her, hey, I don't feel comfortable with telling the other person that. With all due respect. And then let that person do it. And that's it. And if the other person asks you, hey, did you ever text? Say, yeah, I did. She told me she was going to get in contact with you. And leave it right there and walk away. Don't ask about it or nothing. You know? Anyway, I'm in this room for a reason. We got a house full of folks. Yesterday, I had a toothache that was killing me. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care of yourselves.